Lying down. Take a couple of minutes here. Take your first few minutes. Anchor attention in your breath. The energetic sensation. Physical sensation. Just take a minute to check in with yourself. Is there tension? Be sure to check the tension around the jaw, base of the skull, any muscles in the face. Can you drop your shoulders? Can you take a long breath in and a longer breath out? Let the shoulders broaden, let the neck broaden, let the throat broaden. Take 2 or 3 more breaths. Then let's take the legs very long and the arms long over your head. You hook your thumbs together overhead, reach, pull, stretch. Good, and then bring your knees up and in. Hands to knees, knees to chest. And then arms wide, palms either up facing or facing the floor. Take your knees to the right, take your gaze to the left. Bring your knees back up, take your knees to the left, take your gaze to the right. Go back and forth. Good, once more to each side, knees to one side, gaze to the other. And then back onto the center of your back and drop your feet to the floor. Heels on the floor, heels under your knees, arms down alongside you. And then take a breath in, a little tilt in the pelvis, and then on the exhale, tilt the pelvis the other way and lengthen the lumbar spine. Very strong, emptying squeeze to the abdomen. Breathe in like cow pose. Breathe out like long lumbar spine. So you're trying to arch that part of your back, but the floor meets the long lower back. Inhale. Good, 3 more breaths like that. Strong abdomen, strong exhalation. Good, and let that go, let the go of that effort. Pause for a breath. And then a breath in. And on the exhale, bridge pose, and your right arm up and over your head to the floor. Leave your arm overhead, bring your spine back down to the floor. Exhale back up. Inhale back down. Bridge pose, left arm. Inhale, come down, leave the arm. Exhale, bridge pose. Inhale, arm down, spine down. Right arm again. Leave the arm. Inhale the spine to the floor. Exhale up. Inhale everything down. Exhale, left arm bridge. Leave the arm, spine to the floor. Exhale, bridge. Inhale, come down, everything to the floor. Both arms, bridge pose. Leave both arms there, inhale the spine to the floor. Exhale, come up. Inhale, everything comes back down. And then leave the arms, just bring the hips and the spine up to bridge pose. Get a little taller in the upper arms, get a little more stand in the arms and the shoulders. Two more breaths. Let the arms go, spine to the floor, hips to the floor. Pause here, take a breath, knees to chest, or just let your legs go back out onto the floor. You could kick up through both heels, one heel at a time, or both heels up, open the backs of your knees. And then if you have a block, let's take a block. And then instead of trying to hold the block up here between the knees, take it between your feet. So I think maybe on the long flat, so it's kind of vertical but long and flat on the floor, ankles there, and then back to bridge pose. Just keep a nice press through the inner ankles. Two more breaths. Good. spine to the floor, hips to the floor, and then we can set the block out of your way off to the side, knees to chest. Good, and then once more, feet on the floor behind your hips, your hands together behind your head. Take a breath in here, wide chest, wide elbows, press down, exhale, elbows in, opposite elbow knee. Inhale, let go. Exhale, opposite elbow knee. 4 more to each side. Get the full length of exhalation. In the cross, in the twist, in the side bend, a full out breath. So more cross lateral movement, spinal rotation and side bend in the spine. Notice where you feel, what you feel in terms of any muscular tightness, more on one side than the other. Any little kind of known structural imbalance that presents as just a feeling of maybe a little more tight on one side. One more. All the way back down. Press the arms, tilt the chin, tilt the pelvis, and then exhale, just bring the head, shoulders, upper back, up off the floor. Inhale back down. Three more breaths, exhale, come up. And you can let go of your head, arms down by your sides, extend both legs, and let your head fall from side to side a few times. Chin to shoulder, ear to the floor. Walk the shoulders down, the shoulders themselves. Back and down, shoulder blades down. Okay, and then let's come from there, come from your back over onto a side. From your side up onto your hands and your knees. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, chin to chest. Broaden the shoulder blades. Lengthen the lumbar spine, tilt the pelvis. Cat pose. Inhale, cow pose, reverse. Exhale. A couple of more. Follow your breath. Good. Neutral spine. Neutral spine. And then just kind of have a look down at your hands, where your hands feel a balanced weight down through from the shoulders, through the elbows, forearms, into your wrists and your palms, right? Feel weight supported. And then turn or press inner edges of your hands a little bit more so that you feel more weight in your index fingers, maybe a little bit in your middle finger and in your thumb. A little bit more weight there. And then see if you can just find a feeling of balanced weight across the whole palm and all 10 fingers, all 5 fingers of each palm. What does balanced weight feel like? And then come into downward facing dog from there. Toes under, hips back a bit, feel weight shift away from your palms, and then lift the knees, take the knees back. Find balance weight in your palms again, fingers and palms. Ears to biceps. So try bringing your chin more toward your chest, so long back of your neck, and then just let the neck fall to neutral. Where's that? Two more breaths here. Good. And then to come down, just bend the knees. Drop the knees to the floor. You can sit back on your heels with your toes turned back or with your toes turned under, or you could just be on your knees, a little bit more up on your knees. Big circles, arms, shoulders, both directions. And then forearms come down onto elbows. So have palms together, elbows under shoulders. Step the balls of your feet back. Lower your hips. Plank pose on your forearms, dolphin plank pose. Hold, breathe, drop your knees if you feel like dropping your knees. Pull your head a little more forward, neck a little bit longer. If you feel more weight in your elbows, toward your elbows, press more weight down through the outer lower forearms near your wrists. Outer forearms, outer wrists. Pinky finger edges of your hands. 2 more breaths. Good. Knees to the floor, hips to the floor, abdomen to the floor, and stack your hands, turn your toes back, and take a breath or two here. Take a breath in and keep your hands where they are, arms where they are. Take a breath in, lift your head, look up. Or forward rather, look forward and then come down. Easiest thing in the world. Inhale, come up. Exhale, come down. This feeling of length, continued length up the back of the neck into the base of the skull. And then bring your palms out and in front of your elbows, reach your palms out. Bring your elbows back in just a tiny bit. Push the floor, bring yourself up just a little bit higher. How does that feel? And then on the exhale, just lower the head. Feel a little hunch in your shoulders. Inhale, reverse, come up, look forward. Exhale, let go of that curve. Do 3 more. So a sphinx, more sphinx-like here. Good, and then bring the palms underneath the shoulders, elbows in close to you, low chest off the floor. Elbows in close. If your back feels okay with it, come up. More extension in the elbows, and then pull the elbows back in, drop the shoulder blades. And you can be, 90 degrees in the elbows. You can be a little more toward straighter arms, but keep pulling the shoulders back. Squeeze into the backs of your hips. More the full cobra pose. Wherever it feels right in your back. Support in the upper back. And then lift your hips. Sit back one more time. Or you could sit in just an easy pose with your legs crossed out in front of you and turn from side to side. Counter that little bit of back bend, that kind of more intense back bend with a few rotations of your spine side to side. Two more to the right, 2 more to the left. Or left and then right. Good. Back up onto your palms, toes under, hips back. Lift your knees, downward facing dog. Good, try to find that same attention to upper back and shoulders, support there. Remember what we were just doing on the floor, face down on the floor, but then just lifting and finding that pull and support back into the upper back and shoulders. Let's take the left leg straight up into the air, lift, 3-legged dog, tail of the dog. One more breath, just lift and extend. Push more through your right palm, push more through your left leg, left heel, left toes. Slowly left foot to the floor. Inhale, exhale, right leg up. Couple more breaths. Push left palm internally, rotate right thigh. Exhale, slowly lower right foot, and then walk to the center of your mat. Let your fingers slide back, forward fold. And then come up to stand up. And then let's find, right, whatever works for you in terms of like chair or squat, sitting all the way close to the floor and then pushing to stand all the way back up. So that might look just more like that and come up. Just do what you need to do for your knees. You could also go just a little out, a little wider with the feet. If you get all the way to the floor, you stand all the way back up. Whatever works for you. Do 10, maybe you mix it up. Do a few feet under the hips, knees aligned with the feet and the hips, and you just sit back and you stand up. And then you do a few where you go a little wider if that's available. Sit all the way down, stand. 5 more. 10 at your own pace, wherever you are with that. Okay, and then from standing, if you're close to a wall or a piece of furniture, grab onto support for that. And then lean into that leg that's closest to your support, lift the other knee. And then just get tall again, right? So if lifting your knee high causes you to kind of round in the back and it bends your standing knee, just drop that lifted knee a little bit until you're tall. And then straight out into the heel, bend the knee, straighten the knee, bend the knee. Five more. Oh, Mr. Potts. Same thing, second side. Good. 10 each leg 10 times, and then pause in mountain pose and take a breath. Good, and then go wide. Back onto your mat, wide stance back with your right heel, out with your left toes. Start in triangle pose, right? So if you want to go a little wider, play with being a little wider. Both arms extended, both legs extended. One more breath. Reach up. Drop back like a reverse warrior. Inhale. Exhale, triangle pose. Do that same little reach up with the breath. Inhale, reverse, kind of like the dancing warrior we do typically with the front knee bent. Do it here with triangle pose. Hi, Mr. Potts. Two more. Arms come down, turn in left toes. Right toes, left toes face the long edge of your mat, soft knees, slide hands down, forward fold. Balance, integrate. Take 2 more breaths here. Hands to hips, push your feet, lift through your upper back, and come all the way back up. And then go out with the right foot. Slightly in with the left toes, back with the left heel, right? Maybe slightly wider if you feel stable. And then we'll go again to triangle pose for 5 breaths, and then we'll come up and in, out and in, out and in, out and in. Big breath, long, 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 long reach. One more breath. Can you keep your legs firm, the knees extended, reach through the top arm, push through the front foot, inhale. Little slip, exhale. Inhale. One more. Good, and then you're up. And then come in a little closer, still wide, but a little closer with your feet, toes turned out. And then arms at 90-degree elbows. And then try to bend the knees toward 90 degrees and come up. Slow, 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 slow and strong. Allow yourself to just maybe pause, a little bit of a hold. Here we'll do 5 more. Last one. Yeah. Roll the shoulders. Just stay where you are with your feet if you're good there. If you need to make any adjustments, make any adjustments there so you could hold. Maybe you don't sit quite as low to hold, but you come where you can bend your knees and just feel a little bit of tension. Hip flexors kind of holding on, quadriceps holding on, and you're here again or here, and you're exhaling, elbow toward knee. Squeezing into the side waist. Let the arms go and come up. And then back to where you have some support to stand on one leg if you want that. We're gonna stretch the quads and open the front of the hips by reaching down. Maybe you come forward so you can get hand to outside of knee, reach down, find ankle, shin, foot, toes. And then you're gonna flex into the back of your hip, right into the glutes here a little bit and lift through your foot. Maybe you take your free arm. If that arm is free, reach it up in the opposite direction from where your leg is going, where your foot is going. One more breath. Mountain pose. Second side. Five breaths. Mountain pose again. Pause here. Take a breath. Good. And then stepping back into your mat, back into the top of your mat. Take a breath in and turn the palms out. Reach back, reach back, reach back. As you reach up, reach back. Overhead. Exhale. Half forward fold. Arms overhead. Two more breaths. Exhale, drop your arms. Drop your head, Uttanasana. Good. And then bring palms to the floor. Walk your feet back, high push-up position. Three more breaths. Can you get a little more away from the floor? Push through your palms. Lift your breastbone. Broaden your upper back. Pull the belly up. Exhale, come down. Good, and then find wherever you were comfortably back bended in the beginning. That little bend in your elbow just allows your arms to continue working. And elbows in close. Squeeze into the glutes. All the way down. Good, and let's bring the hands back up underneath forehead. Bend both knees, drop both feet to one side, and then come up and go to the other side. Let your hips turn, let your legs turn. Good, and let that go. Let's bring the right arm out onto the floor, palm facing the floor. rest on your right cheek to the ground, and then push into left palm, roll over onto right side. Let your legs go anywhere your legs just kind of want to slide out and fall. They can come apart. They can rest a little closer together. Take 3 more breaths on the side. And then when you're ready, switch and go the other way into the front of left shoulder, over onto left side. 5 breaths. And just let that side go. Come off your left shoulder, come back onto your belly. And then turn yourself onto your side and you rest comfortably on your side. If the floor bothers your hip, if the hard floor under your hip bones or bones of your pelvis is a little hard, feel free to just cushion that up with a blanket. You can rest your head out on your arm so your head is down, your neck is long, or you can prop your head up in your hand. Stack your knees, stack your feet, knees just kind of straight out in front of your hips. And then can you lift your whole leg? So now you look like we're in squat pose again on your side. And then come down, just kind of hover if you don't actually touch. And then straight up, nothing else moves but that leg. Three more. Yeah, and then this leg is hovering, right? So now you're about hips distance apart with your knees and your feet and your ankles. Hold here. Notice what you feel here in the leg that's on the floor. It's kind of doing its thing, doing kind of its part, right? Resisting the floor to help hold this leg up in the air. You can always use this hand if this gets to be too fatiguey, and just press this hand and use this hand instead. One more breath. And then take that leg into extension. So right, kick out through your heel or point your toe and then touch the floor with that toe 10 times. Longer leg, more work. Obviously. Come back in. Take the knee a little bit back behind and the foot a little bit back behind, and then turn the knee toward the floor, like you're doing a little flapper kick, and then turn the knee upward. So that leg is a little behind this bottom leg, front leg. Three more. And then drop that leg out in front of the bottom leg. Just let it rest and just let this open up, feel this open, 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 and extend the bottom leg now. So that bottom leg is extended out at an angle, and then lift as if there were a string attached to your inner ankle. You can lift that leg up, kind of hike it up parallel, almost even with your top hip. Here's 10, do 10 more. Get all of the hips, all of the inner and the outer hips, and then we'll come on to the other side. And then we'll do a little pigeon, and we'll just let all of that breathe. You can come all the way down, head into your arm, or head propped up in your TV watching hand. And then you're out with your knees. Right, and then you're just trying to sort of lead with the outer knee rather than the foot. Slowly enough to feel. 5 more. Lots of control, lots of precision. And then we just let it float. Four more breaths. Remember this hand that can push the floor, relieve resistance on the bottom leg. So that goes out. Big toe touches the floor 10 times. You can always modify this by just going downward, right? Straight out from the hip is a little more work. And then we're back to that little knee behind you, flapper kick, knee to the floor, heel up, heel to the floor, knee up. And then we lay that leg on the floor in front of the bottom leg, extend out through the bottom leg, and lift that inner ankle. 20. Good. Let all of that go. Come onto your back. If you want to come onto hands and knees and do pigeon pose that way, feel free to do that version. If you want to just come onto your back, a little easier on your knees, cross ankle to knee, bring knee to chest. Good, so another breath, maybe 2 more breaths. Switch the cross. Good, and let that go when you're ready. Take both feet to the floor, take the knees wide, bring the soles of the feet together, let the knees fall open, take the arms over your head. Cross forearms, grab opposite elbows. Readjust the shoulder blades and the upper back. Rest here for a few breaths. Yeah, switch the cross of your arms. Let's take the opposite forearm over and then take 3 more breaths. And then let go of your elbows, let your arms come down alongside you, slide your feet down to the foot of your mat. Grab anything else you want to grab as far as support, cushion, a layer. And we'll rest in Shavasana for 5, and then if anybody cares to sit, we'll sit for a few. Close with a brief meditation around your heart. Yeah, but take 5. Recall this position, recall lying on your back at the beginning of your practice today. Like an overlay. Overlay yourself now with yourself then. You had your practice ahead of you. Then you have your practice behind you now. How does it feel? Breath becomes softer, finer. Take another 2 or 3 breaths in Shavasana. And then when you're ready, come to your side. Move hips to one side, rest on your side, take a breath here. And then come to a seat. You'll sit for just a moment or two. Just a couple of moments. You just try to feel, if you can, bring yourself to a seat. Feel for pulse, feel for the beat of your heart. You want to start with your hands over your heart. A little tactile feeling to that pulse, to that rhythm. See if you can sense the beat of your heart, just off center of the breastbone, a little bit to the left of your breastbone. Just drop down through sitting bones. To get quiet and still enough to feel. It might be very subtle, it might be very soft. You might let the breath pause. Come to the end of an exhale, pause the breath there. If that helps, just feel it a little more deeply. Breathe when you need to take a breath. Take 2 more breaths. Big breath in, feel the lungs fill to either side of your heart. Pause at the end of exhale. Feel a little flutter, a little rhythm of heartbeat. This last breath, reach your arms overhead. Make yourself tall through your arms, bring your palms together. Exhale, lower your palms to your heart. Hold your practice here. Namaste. Thank you as always for your time. Honor your own time here and look back up.